I bet you'd think I was pretty crazy if I told you that the best way to get maximum amount of speed into your club head would be to pull your hand in towards your body. But that's actually what you need to do. I've got some really eye-opening drills that I'd love you to do. It's going to give you crazy amounts of speed, and that speed is going to feel pretty effortless. So take a golf club. I've got driver. Driver is the best club to do that with. Take your normal lead hand hold on the golf club and place your trail hand just below the grip onto the kind of club shaft. And I want you to face your fairway, okay? Take that golf club and just put it into this position here. Now, that's where I need you to bear with me. Imagine that the club head is just kind of coming a little bit loose on the club shaft, okay? The glue's coming a little bit unstuck. And I want you to try and fling that club head as far down the fairway as you can. Now, if any of you are fisherwomen, if you fish, then this might be kind of similar to what you might do when you were casting. I know nothing about fishing. Apologies if I've butchered that kind of terminology. But what you would do is you'd sort of stand there and you'd say, right, how can I get that club head off the end of the club shaft? And you'd go this way. What's actually happening there? Well, take a look at this end of the golf club. I'm actually taking this end and I'm pulling it down and back towards me. As I'm doing that, I'm accelerating this trail hand. So I'm opposing these movements. Left is coming down and into me, right is applying the force that way. So look where that grip goes. It's actually coming down and into my body. That's how I would feel like I could accelerate the club and try and put as much speed into the club head as possible to try and fling it down towards the range. That movement we kind of want in the golf swing. It's in the golf swing, in good golfers. So have a look at this. If I took my setup, think about where this grip is relative to me. We can put a little mark on it there. That's setup. If I simply went into my delivery position, watch where the grip goes. Not a huge movement, but it's now further away from me. So how would I get from this delivery position back to impact? Well, I would need to take this grip and I would need to move it back in towards me. So you can see that as I go from delivery to impact, where is that grip going? It's going back in towards me. What that does is it allows my forearms to have the right movement, and it's that accelerates the club head. So mad, crazy, effortless speed is all about creating the right delivery and then learning how to move the grip to accelerate the club head. We're going to kind of teach you that. So the first little exercise I want you to do is very simply that split grip drill that I gave you, but doing it with a golf ball. So I take my setup, I've got my hands kind of split on the grip here, and I go from setup and I put myself into delivery. Now look at where that left hand is going, out away from me. And then from here, what have I got to do? Well, I've got to pull the left hand back up and in towards me as I feel like the right accelerates the club head. Now, as I do that, what's happening with my lead arm? It's bending. Okay, so as my left hand is moving up in towards my body, my left hand is bending. Okay, so now what I want you to do is do this, add a little bit more speed, and try and keep the left arm straight. How do you do that? Well, you add this movement, hand coming in, with a little bit of a body pivot. Now what I'm able to do is take that grip, pull it up and into me, right goes down, body moves out the way, and I've got this beautiful kind of looking impact. This is how we get crazy amounts of speed, and it feels effortless. We're using the movement of this to accelerate this. Now I've done this little demonstration before, but this is fantastic for highlighting this. Then we're going to go through the little delivery drill. Club here, holding in 2 fingers. If I let that club go, it's going to have some speed. It's not going to reach horizontal or parallel to the ground on the other side. It's just not going to do that, okay? It hasn't got enough momentum, hasn't got enough energy. But it will do if, as it drops, I pull the grip upwards. So as it drops, if I pull the grip upwards, suddenly it's got more speed. You notice it goes way past horizontal. The more force that I can use, the more I can pull that grip up, the more speed I get the other side. So when I'm in this delivery position, do I want to pull that grip straight up? Well, not really, because that's going to cause the club to go down. That's not where the ball is. I need to pull the grip up and in. So up and in gets my club from here to accelerate towards the golf ball. Simply an upward pull would send the club down. An inward club pull would move the club out. We want a combination of the both. So as I'm moving my hands, what I feel is into my body, I push, I rotate, my lead shoulder moves up, that adds the upwards. So those little exercises hopefully are going to kind of really open your mind as to what a really good delivery is like with lots of speed. I now need to show you how to get into the perfect delivery to be able to do that. And that's what we're going to do this next drill. Grab yourself an alignment stick. This is key to this drill. Let me show you how I've set this up. It's pretty much the length of my driver behind the golf ball, maybe just a fraction more. And then when I set up to the golf ball, it's pretty much in line with the grip of the club or my hands in that position. So let's look at where the club head is relative to this alignment stick. If on the way down, the club head gets outside of my hands and over the top of this alignment stick, from here, it's near damn impossible to do what I've just described to you. Because I need to actually put a movement in the grip up and away from me to try and get the club back into a delivery position. So I'm putting forces this way late in the golf swing. We kind of said the movement we want, that's the opposite. That slows the club down, opens the face, which is really, really common. What I was just doing in terms of those little demonstrations was from here. Look where the club head is now relative to that alignment stick. It's behind the alignment stick and more importantly, behind my hands. From here, if I hold that in sort of fingers and fingers, this is a position where I can really spin that club out. As soon as I go here, whoa, that feels very, very different. Very, very different. And you might have seen some of the live lessons that I've done where I've put golfers in delivery positions and asked them to sort of go through the golf ball. And when you put them here and ask them to swing through, suddenly the mind goes, can't do that from there. That's exactly the case. So what I'd love you to do is go to your top of your backswing. You might have to just manipulate the backswing a little bit to miss that. And you've now got to figure out how you get yourself into a position where the club head is missing the alignment stick and the hands at this point are slightly further away from you than they were at setup. So I can see that my hands at setup here, they look to me as if they're kind of middle of my feet. I go up, I work it down, hands look further away, club has gone behind the alignment stick. I'm now in position where I can snap the butt of the club into my body as I push and move out the way. This is an absolute phenomenal drill. It takes a little bit of setting up, but let me show you what it would look like over a really short distance. We go backswing, have to manipulate it a little bit. There's my delivery, club behind, hands out, and then I spin the grip back into me as the club goes out. And I'm able to hit really solid shots, really straight shots, and feel like I've got so much freedom through the golf ball. Because what I'm doing from this position is putting a force through the grip, which accelerates the club. I can only do that if I'm in a good delivery position. If you've looked at your golf swing, you're outside, you're steep from here. Unfortunately, the maximum speed that you can achieve is off the table. You can't get there. You can't do the things that you need to do in order to get that speed. So learning how setup hands and delivery hands are very different. If you do that, you're opening up the opportunity to create some crazy amounts of speed through the golf ball. Let me do that drill once more for you. Go back, hands are out, club is in. There's my recipe, and I can now spin the club out as I pivot out the way.